Let's get on to my banner this morning, and I've been asking this question. I should have asked my husband this morning, Roland, for all the work that I do at home.
Questions that you didn't ask your husband, then you can't ask me.
Yeah, my boyfriend. I can ask you.
Okay. No, but
potential.
Which one? Is your husband you cherish than your boyfriend? Your husband is always at home with you, so you cherish than your boyfriend. Yes, side and side.
So a research by the Department of Economics at the KNUST has revealed that the average Ghanaian woman could earn up to 43,200 Ghana cedis. That's annually, yeah? And if you break that down, which I did, that comes about 3,600 Ghana cedis a month.
Oh, really?
For the chores that we do at home as women.
43?
Yeah. 43,200.
43,200.
Exactly, 43,200.
12.
43,200 Ghana cedis. Is
Average,
that 3,600
yes.
a month? Okay.
Fantastic.
So this happened in Kumasi, and our colleague Erastus Asari Donko was there for Joy News. So Erastus is joining us because there are a lot of details that I want to find out from him. Erastus, good morning.
Good morning, Mama.
So how are you doing, Erastus?
I'm good.
Tell me you pay your wife for all the work that she does at home.
Well, I'm yet to be married anyway, but then there's an interesting finding coming in from the Economics Department of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. And in fact, they built their research based on partly data from the Ghana Statistical Service for 2009. And they interviewed several men and several women. Now, they are indicating that women spend 37 hours a week doing house chores, housework, what they tag as unpaid work. And you compare that with that of men, 7 hours a week doing house chores, some of the men who would like to support their wives. And so they quantified it that if they were to pay for this unpaid work done by wives or women in the home, including care, in fact, caring for your husband and your children, then they will say that 43,200 Ghana cedis will accrue to them at the end of the year. And so that's the quantification that they did to all this. But it will interest you to know that after their calculation, they are saying that even if they add the work, the paid work, that is the normal work that women do aside the unpaid work, to the amount that they have done, it still doesn't amount to the income they bring to the home. And so it limits them as to their part as decision makers in the home. And so they get to be relegated to the background more when it comes to decision making in the home because the men are the big income earners. And so they were saying that they want to bring this research to the attention of policymakers so that they will increase the access to education for women. Let the women go to school, let them complete SHS, let them go to tertiary, complete university, do their masters, and be able to go out there and look for jobs and become competitive in making decisions in the home and even at the office and across the country as well.
Erastus, let me turn this on you. So listening throughout the session, as a man, how did you feel? What was your reaction?
I personally, and this is my personal opinion, Mama B, I agree totally with the research. You know, I appreciate women a lot for what they do. I have always said that keep a child with you for 24 hours as a man. You take care of one child, 24 hours a day, and you will know what stress women go through in taking care of about 4 children. Some women are saddled with about 4 children. They take care of them alone. And so it's not an easy job. I'm even thinking that 43,000 Ghana cedis a year is an underestimation.
But this is the response that we're getting because I threw this out there when we started the show. Somebody is asking, for instance, on WhatsApp, Prince Inwa says, how much would we also pay the men for running and managing the family? Did that question come up?
In fact, it became a whole lot of debate, and the director at the RCC was there. He took the policy document and the research document itself, and you know, some men in the room did not agree, and they were saying that there are also men who take up certain jobs in the home some women as bad as the men you're talking about are. And they were also arguing on the sense that, well, you are saying that we should outsource some of the work women do in the house to house help and all that. What's the guarantee that the house help will come in and do a proper job? They are also saying that indeed, in many homes today, the work is shared in the house. And when you consider what the men also do outside, the thinking job, trying to get money for the next day, the house money, and everything, the emotional trauma they also go through, that one can also be quantified, and it will be way above the 43,000 you're talking about. So it became quite a debate in the room when they presented the research document.
Yeah, it's a debate in here as well. Erastus, thank you very much for the details that you've shared with us this morning. That's right, Erastus Asaridonko, that's my colleague. But we also do have, joining us via phone, is Gender and Development Lecturer at GIJ, Dr. Samson Appiah. We're going to open the phone lines and hear your views and thoughts on this one as well. And please do comment on Facebook, because we put the questioning on Facebook as well. So just go to our Facebook page. Dr. Appiah, good morning to you. Hello, Dr. Appiah.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. I hope you're well today.
I'm fine. I hope you're also fine.
Yes, I am. Thanks for asking. So this issue about women being paid for taking care of the household chores, and this research that's been done by the Department of Economics at the KNUST, that's putting the figure to about 43,200 Ghana cedis annually. First of all, what do you think about that?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think that the issue about women's contribution to the household not being quantified, it is something that takes root back to the discussions on the role of women, gender relations within the domestic. Now, if you go back to, the literature on the issue of women contribution to the household, several studies have confirmed that in most societies, because the women or the woman's role have been seen to be traditional, like taking care of the children, cooking and so. So traditionally, these roles have not been quantified. Now, but gradually, due to social change and this issue of women empowerment, many advocates are coming out to make the point that the contribution of women is very key to the development of society and the maintenance of the household. So I'm not surprised about, I read the report yesterday, I'm not surprised about the findings. And I even was telling somebody that I believe that if you do a very good, thorough, research or analysis, we could even find that that amount could even be lower. You could even get more in terms of the quantifiable income that women can bring home. So I think that is a very interesting report. I know other people have other issues against it, but the truth is that women, and I can give you a lot of instances, the fact that what women do can indirectly even increase the income of the husband or the household. Because most of the things that the women do, and I have always said, I realize that when the woman is not doing it and the house help comes in, the man pays for it or we pay for that. So it means therefore that the woman's contribution is very important and we should begin to quantify those contributions.
My colleague on the set with me, Roland Walker, totally disagrees. So how much do you think would be a fair amount if we were to pay all women for taking care of the household chores?
No, I would personally not, settle any particular amount, but I think that there are differences in the household. There are cultural differences. So depending on the household. But I think that if you look at it averagely, the amount that they quoted, if you look at some homes, for example, where, let's say the woman is the one who, takes care of the children, bath them. And you see that what we should not lose sight of the fact that anytime the woman is occupied and does not do those household chores, we are comfortable paying the household for it. So we should begin to, realize that is a very, because the idea is that, I always tell my students in my gender class, when the woman does also that's the work of the woman. But when the household does it, we don't complain about it because we think that is, so if it's a traditional role of the woman, then why are we paying somebody to come and do it? So if you are paying somebody to come and do it, there's no, I don't think there's anything wrong if you also pay the woman or you quantify. That is, if you look at some of the criticisms against the use of GDP and GNP averages, the argument is that most of these contributions are unquantified. And you see, let's go to the traditional households or traditional societies. in the villages where a lot of these women are hardworking. Go to Mokola population by now, you see women who have traveled all the way to the villages, taking, food stuff coming to the market. And many of these people are even supporting their homes directly. Even if the woman has a provision shop, the children are going to school, do we as husbands pay for the drinks or the bills they take? No. So you see the realize that if you really want to quantify in terms of the food, the amount they indirectly pay, school fees or even the money that is spent on the house, even things that the husband is supposed to provide, but the woman indirectly provides to maybe growing some backyard garden and co. I think that the amount will be more than the 4,000, whatever the amount that they mentioned. So I think that we should look at the cultural differences of the different terms of household. But I think that personal amount will be more if you do a thorough analysis of it.
So there's the other issue of some men also share responsibilities in the home. What happens to such men? Do we pay them as well?
No, I didn't hear it. Can you come again?
Okay, so in the homes where the responsibilities are shared, what happens to the men? Do we pay them as well?
I think that's a very interesting. You see, I believe that the two are supposed to support each other. So if the two are sharing that, and I know there are some homes where maybe, because the money comes, the man says that I'm taking care of the school fees, you are taking care of the money. So these are things that can individual arrangement in homes where this is I cater for. The point is that we should not think that because it is the woman's traditional role, we shouldn't pay or we shouldn't quantify it. That is the point. I think that when the two, decide to share their responsibility, whatever, yes, then you can come and say, okay, then this is how much I'm bringing, this is how much I'm bringing, and all the man, this is how much we are contributing as a household. I think that is what we should look at it from. The point is that the woman's contribution is very important to the maintenance of the household. And it's our time we begin to quantify and look at the amount they bring. But if you don't do that, it's even affecting our calculation of the GDP and all those things, which a lot of women are into providing for the household, which we should look at very carefully.
So how should it work really if you are a woman and you already have a job, but you still do the household stuff? Should your husband still pay you for what you do at home?
If you are a woman and you are already working and still do the household job, I think that I also think that will still be explained within the individual household, the society, or the cultural context. So if the woman is doing the household, the question is how much is she getting? So if the man feels that I can do, there are situations where there are certain things I do at home, and I was okay, this one, because if I was supposed to abandon outside, so you can pay the woman or supplement the woman's income. I think that arrangement can also be done. So if the woman is not getting so much and she's struggling to make it and she's providing some amount, the man goes, okay, based on what you are doing, this is how much I'm going to do. If I'm supposed to have brought in a house, let me give an illustration. I'm supposed to bring a house up to come and wash every weekend, and I decide to maybe buy a washing machine. The woman will do the washing, all right, or pay the machine if I'm not around. So I can decide, okay, the money I'm supposed to give to the house, I may give it to the woman because she is performing that even though she's working, but still gets time to do those household chores. So I don't see there's anything wrong if the individuals within that household agree that this is the way we can go about it, and there's nothing wrong if the woman is paid for the work it does apart from the formal work it does.
Dr. Pia, finally on this, if you're a man, you really want to pay your wife for the things she does, but you cannot afford, what alternatives are there? What else can you do?
No, I think that there are a lot of ways that men who cannot pay their wife can support their wife. Maybe can help her in an investment or set her up in something if she's not working. The other aspect which we are not looking at is that we can also support the woman to provide indirect income. So if there is a way that the woman is not working and I want to support her, there are a lot of ways I can support her directly, set her up for business, or pushing her in terms of providing the things that I think that can help her with or do better. So I think that if the woman is not working, I don't have the means of providing, I can also support her. Maybe if she's going to meet the children, I can do those things. Things that I can see, that is the other aspect that we're also losing sight of. That men can also, I think in the studio that we discussed issue about men helping their wives in the household. So I think that things that you cannot provide financially, you can provide the physical support and things that can help the woman also, have some relief in terms of the household chores. So.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Pia, for your thoughts on this. Really, really appreciate it. That's a gender and development lecturer with the Ghana Institute of Journalism, sharing his thoughts with us on this subject. Really, really interesting, and I love that. If you can find money, you can do it in other forms. So we'll activate the phone lines. Let me read some messages on WhatsApp, Roland. This one says, good morning, everyone on Joy News. Talking about how much I'll pay my wife for handling household chores. Would have looked at her in terms of whether she's working or not. If she's a worker, I'll pay her 20 cedis a day and 600 cedis in a month. And if she's not working, I'll pay my wife 30 Ghana cedis a day and 900 Ghana cedis a month. I'm Prince Brima from Medina. I wonder what went into the calculation.
Yeah, maybe it depends on his earnings too. Because you have to pay from your earnings.
Yeah, you do. Okay, so this one says, at their various workplaces, how many of these women earn that much despite working for 40 hours? Since their employers don't feed them after salary, I hope they won't eat from the house. Further, I believe all salaries are taxable, so they must pay taxes on the money to the husbands.
Okay, but how do we mainstream, as you look for other messages, this very discussion or this very narrative into the context of the current state of relationships that we tend to have in the modern era, or in a lot more urban and peri-urban areas in Ghana or the rest of the sub-region, in which we have women, or significantly either side of the couple or the divide, also contributing to the home. And they tend to also divide the chores or the type of activities that are done in the home in between themselves. So those are questions and the context in which we also need to do the analysis. If we're just doing it in a stereotype traditional setting, which seem or would not have influenced the way we live as middle or perhaps peri-urban people or urban people, then we can't posit that outcome of this very research in that context. But now, men also contribute significantly into running the home, not necessarily giving out only money, but also trying to helping out with the kids or doing some other things, because naturally women seem to think or tend to assume certain roles naturally. I don't mind if my woman knows how to cook or doesn't know how to cook, or doesn't cook for the whole week.
I know.
I have a certain perception about that, but that's me. But naturally, somebody needs to know how to cook, and usually the preserve in our societies or even the global civilization is usually the place of the woman, because women were told etc.
Which shouldn't be such a big deal.
But men also know how to cook too.
There are a few men.
But the thing is, if you have the commitment from men, how do you change that very orientation and make sure that you streamline the discussion within that very narrative?
True, important. Okay, this one says, is sex parts? If yes, then women should be paid more than 43,000.
But I think that when it comes to sex, men do a lot more of the job and women just sit there. It's like a comedian who has to tickle his audience and laugh.
Really?
Yes. Because if the comedian is not good, let's say DKB, who I like very much, is not good, the audience will not laugh.
Yeah, but who likes it more most of the time? It's the men. So if you're doing more
so your assessment of how good you are as a comedian is determined by how you tickle the audience to laugh. And so your assessment as a very good person or man sexually, it depends on how your wife also responds to you.
Okay, here's one. It says, I'll pay my wife 5,000 a month if I have money. She has been so supportive. Thanks, Lillian. Okay, so I don't know if you are Lillian or your wife is Lillian, but 5,000, that's cool. I think we have some men who are called 5,000 is cool. Okay, this one says, oh no, let me take this one. It says, good morning, Mama V. Roland. I really agree 100% with the Rastos, but will also be happy if the man also gets a figure for helping to keep the home. But who pays the man?
It's a question I guess we have to ask.
Who pays the man? I mean, if the woman has more...
Even we have to also perhaps also do a discussion on women who earn more than their husbands. What sort of relationship do they have? How do they help to keep their home?
It's true.
Yes.
It's true. Okay, so right about now, you can join us via phone. You can call us 030221169102. I've got tons of your messages on WhatsApp. I'm going to be reading it alongside. Aziz Donlainwa says, even though they are our helpers, as a gender activist, I think we as husbands can also help in doing some of the things in the house. However, in answering your question, I will pay 1,700 Ghana cedis every month because she does a lot every morning and evening. kudos to mine. Good for you. Aziz Donline, thanks for sending the message to us. Okay, so this one says, some married women do absolutely nothing at home. It can take some women 3 days and they will not even sweep, wash or cook. Meanwhile, these women will be unemployed and the man has to provide everything. These type of women in question deserve absolutely nothing. That's from Awinzari Samuel Husseini in Tanga in the Boko West, sending us that message. Okay, so Ahmed Isahaku in Wa says, how much should one's wife be paid? Both couples play complementary roles. There's no need discussing this whole issue. If care is not taken, this can cause a lot of problems for many marriages. So somebody is already afraid of the consequences of this. But this is a policy document that's been forwarded, actually. So if we were to adopt this, do you think we'll be able to survive it?
I don't know about survival, but I know that there should be some mutual buy-in from all parties. And so naturally, I take the context of me working and in an office environment, and a woman who also holds the same position and works same as hard, and that person is a wife, and that person has to satisfy a man sexually, but also has to cook, etc. And so it means that if you know that you're living partners or couples, then you have to take certain decisions to reduce the burden on either. So it's that decision point that many people tend to reach out towards, by which they, at the end of the day, are able to come to certain conclusions or certain consensus and come to certain agreement to say, well, instead of you doing the cooking all the time, we want to take somebody who come and do a cooking for us, and if the food is good, you go according to it. But it all depends on others. I've interacted with men who say they like their food hot or they like it fresh. So they will want to take the vegetables from the fridge and it has to be cooked for them. Some also don't mind taking it frozen. And so once it's defrost, they are okay with it. So it depends on the characters involved and how they tend to relate with each other and are able to come to a certain conclusion. If this very research is posited within the structure of the way our cultural norms and practices and customs are, then we have to take it in that context. But would that context also be very much related to the context of today? Or would it be very much related to pre-independence or post-independence, or let's say 3 decades ago or 4 decades ago? So we have to look at it in that very timely fashion. And if women have to be paid that way, who will be doing the payment? The person doing the payment, ultimately or logically, if it's a man, is a man also earning that much to be able to even pay that and still survive?
Let me just announce the phone lines. There's something that I want to put across. 0302-211-69102. 0302-211-69102. So, you know, I asked our lecturer, if you don't have the cash, what are the alternative things that you could do? And he came up with a few things. You know, you can help out, you can reach out, you can share responsibilities.
I think that's the best way to go. You can reach out, help out, etc. If you can't help out, well, personally, then it means you have to make sure you hire hands that can do the necessary
So
things.
this one of WhatsApp says, Mamabi, is it not the hustling that make the men die more than women? A point chemical in Konya is definitely not paying anybody for any household chores. Thanks, Chemical. Is it because, so is it because you're a woman, a wife, that you want to introduce this kind of payment into men's lives? Somebody's, this is Manasi. Okay, so you're asking, is it because I'm a woman that I want to introduce this? You're definitely a man asking me that question.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's speak to Isaac. Isaac is joining us on the phone. Hello, Isaac. Good morning.
Yeah, hello, good morning.
Good morning, Isaac. I hope you're well.
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Okay, we thank God.
I want to make a contribution.
Please do. Please do.
Yeah, one would have wanted to ask what brought about the decision to make this a policy document forwarded. And we moving a bit away from our tradition as the marriage being a companionship than it being a business and where one will have to pay the other for working.
Okay, so where do you think we should have started this whole? Because this is a reset.
I had the opportunity to listen to Professor Lumumba, who in one of his discussions.
Hello, Isaac.
Hello, yeah. In one of his discussions, the Africans are the co-authors of our own problem. If at the end of the day, you put it that way, will it be left to the discretion of each family, asking the man to decide whether to pay your wife this amount or asking the 3,583 months? Will every average Ghanaian working man be able to do that? And if that be, how much is the man earning as a worker himself able to pay the wife that huge sum of money?
I get you. Thank you, Isaac, for your thoughts. And this is something for all of us to reflect on, I guess. Let's move over to Bolga. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
I am Joseph.
Okay, Joseph, let's hear you.
Yes, on this housewife salary. I am thinking that even government workers, what the ladies normally do is mostly labor jobs. Let's say washing, cooking, and all those things. At the government side, we employ laborers to work for us. How much money do we pay them? They don't even get up to 400 Ghana cedis a month at the government side. Even workers. Workers with the government, like, for instance, I'm a teacher. As a teacher, I have a degree, yet I'm earning less than 1,300 Ghana cedis. So how do I get 3,583 Ghana cedis to pay my wife for doing another job?
So help out. Help out physically.
You say?
I'm saying that, so help out, like do something in the home to support.
No, she's also working. Yeah, she's also working. I take care of all the school fees.
I see where you're coming from. This is like a big matter.
I'm saying.
I get you. I feel you.
So the researchers, they should look at it again because they are going to create a lot of problems for Ghanaian youth.
I get you.
Especially most of us will have to stop marrying. So
are you married?
We can. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
I'm married with children.
Okay.
Taking care of children's school fees, even food, everything. And you tell me to pay my wife again. How can that be?
I get you, man. Thank you very much.
I don't know the kind of university there. Maybe if we take 200 million, then we can pay the wife 3,583 Ghana cedis per month.
If you say 200 million, you mean 20,000 Ghana cedis.
We get you. Thank you very much for your thoughts on this. Yeah, thanks a lot for calling. Is there somebody else that we're speaking to on the line? Hello, good morning. Okay. Hello, Rashid. Hello, Rashid.
Yeah.
Rashid, good morning. Thanks for calling. What are your thoughts?
This is Jason Rashid, reaching you from Oa.
Okay.
Yes, I think your topic is very, very important. And we should understand that gender mainstreaming should not be an afterthought in any organization. But one thing we should also put in mind is that, this is going to give so many of our youth or our young guys who is going to think to marry a very psychological trauma because when you say this or you make sure this thing is aired out, ladies see it as a very obligatory thing that should they be in the house, especially up north here, and then they are working for their husband, they must be paid no matter the situation. And then we have to always look at our, our coffers, and then before we can pay those wives. Of course, they are doing a very fantastic job in our home, especially the extended family system up north here. But if we look at it to be in a way that we must always pay them, it will be a very strange thing and it will create a lot of divorce in our system.
Okay. All right, Rashid, thanks a lot for your thoughts on this. Thank you very much. That will be it for the phone calls. Let's just read some more WhatsApp messages and then we'll wrap up on this. Shadow Walker from Mankasim says, why do I need to pay my wife for chores? Is it her responsibility? And that's why they are okay, so more like it's not her responsibility, and that's why they are celebrated better than men on Mother's Day. It's a family, and we are building it together. My sex chores alone could do payments annually.
That's a man?
Yeah, that's Shadow. That's Roland's Shadow and his thoughts. It's more like with you. This one says, women these days are like men. They go for housemates and push the house chores to them. The researchers can do another research to see. I think we should pay housemates, not wives. Fortunate Isaiah from Zebula. That those were your words. This one says, hi Mama V, I'm working, but my husband gives me money at the end of the month. I don't have house help. I'm Barbara from Tema. Good for you. This is what we're talking about. But we're not talking, we're not saying that it should necessarily be cash. They can just do something to appreciate what you do. This one says, good morning. I think that no man can pay your wife because what wives do is more than money. So for respect, love, honor, and the little I have, Mujib. And that's what we are talking about, really, because you cannot compensate her. No, I think it will be compensation. You can't say like you're paying her salary for what she does. Yeah. Okay, so the messages, a lot. Let me read this last one, perhaps from Bambakia Samet from Bese. It's been a while. And Bambakia says, I know we're all trying hard to encourage and promote women's rights, but some of these researchers should always do a complete research in order to make the men also feel worthy. Is it the research saying that the men don't do anything to support the family or what? These two human beings come together to form a family. Why only the works of the woman is calculated? Are you saying that the household chores are the only work that the family depends on? I disagree with the research, or they should quantify the works of the man too. Bambakia Samedin from Bese, having your say on this. This is where we have to leave it, really. The comments are chow. This one, for instance, says, I'll pay my wife half of my salary because she does all the work and I only eat. Eben Daniel from Navrongo. That's like a confession of a man. That
should be a title of a movie. One of the... Anyway, yeah. So we also have to make sure that this is a research that has been undertaken. And so... they're just going to push it forward. This
conversation will come back in another form. I think we should look at the policy angle of this and how far this can be pushed.
We'll see how that goes. But next.
Finally, from Emmanuel Bolga. So when you're dating a lady, she would not allow you to cook. But when she marries, then she wants to be paid. Why? Emmanuel from Bolga. Thanks. We've got business.
Yeah, we've got AM business and it is up next. Please do stay on. We'll be right back.